Yes, my name is Stuart Tan, and I'm currently a best-selling author as well as a serial entrepreneur. I've done several different types of businesses over the last 19 years. I happen to have been interviewed by various media in the Straits Times, on national radio, and that has also helped people to see that there is real value in attending my training programs as well as being coached by me. My background really is in psychology. I've actually got a degree in psychology as well as a master's in psychology, and I work towards helping people to attain their goals, whether it's organizational or personal. So that's my basic background. So a lot of people have said, Stuart, coaching is such a difficult thing because it seems like you need so many years of experience. But I can tell you that it's not really true. The reason why I got into coaching was because I personally received coaching myself. As a delinquent, almost delinquent student who just couldn't do very much in my studies, I was coached by people who would then give me the resources to be able to remember better, to be able to do better in my studies, and that built up a bit of my self-confidence and self-esteem. Sure, a coach is a person who actually deals with really practical, personalized and customized solutions for the individual client. Coaching is one of the key things that have helped me to allow other people to gain results, because training usually is just a one-way thing, whereas coaching enables you to have a prolonged dialogue. And I think for the longest time, I've discovered that most people who attend trainings don't really get the maximum benefit out of things, even though I know a lot of people who do, and yet coaching helps to maximize that effect. Coaching being a small group or whether it's one-on-one really does help to solidify some key concepts, and it's also very important for an individual to be able to have a nice balance of both. Trainers tend to deal with a large crowd. It's very difficult to customize one-on-one when you have a group of 100 or 200 people. Whereas as a coach, you get a chance to really understand what the person is going through, really in depth, so that you'll be able to customize a solution for this client. Now, let me give you an example of this. In many cases, people attend a motivational training program. It's generic. It could be off the shelf, like a 7 Habits training program. But when it comes down to coaching, we're really talking about your goals, your personal goals. Now, your goals and another person's goals are probably going to be very different. So even if I gave you the 7 habits, how exactly should you apply those 7 habits? Would you apply it based on your requirement or based on the other person's requirement? It's obvious, right? You have to have it tailored to suit your requirements, because that's precisely what it does. It allows you to look at your own solutions, your own desired solutions, so that you can go to the next level. And if you really want to get an experience or a sense of what it's like for me to coach someone, or if you really want some experience of being coached yourself, feel free to come in for the demonstration workshop, where you literally get a sense of it and be able to benefit from it and see how this thing really works right before your eyes. I'll give you a couple of examples. Some of them are very tangible. Some of them are probably more intangible, but yet very valuable. One of my coaching clients currently owns a business in doing hardware networking and systems integration. Over the last few years, he's been coached by me in a variety of different skills, ranging from persuasion all the way up to human resource management and also strategic planning for the business. As a result, not only has he become my client, we've also become partners in creating for himself a 7-figure business, which he should be able to reach by the end of this year. So far, running a mid to high 6-figure business has been his norm. Now, what about emotional benefits? There are quite a number of people whom I've coached, not just in entrepreneurship where tangible results are very certain. I've seen couples who have actually found their way as a couple to better relationships. I mean, it's a very stark difference from having quarrels almost every day, every time they see each other, to having a loving and peaceful relationship. I've also had situations with very painful people with painful experiences in their life. One of my clients just came in recently, and he had undergone several surgeries. One of the problems with him was that one of his surgeries was a particularly traumatic one. I happen to specialize in trauma and trauma coaching as well, and it enabled me to help him alleviate his pain. Initially, he would just think about the situation and bad memories came back. Conversely, through this literally half an hour conversation, the entire memory just became flat. There was no more trauma. Every time I asked him to think about the situation, he just had no more recollection of that negative experience anymore. Instead, it was just one of those memories that happened to me. The Certified Motivational Coach title or designation is sometimes at a disadvantage because everybody thinks of motivation as rah-rah, right? Motivation basically is the ability for you to sustain a series of actions and to accomplish them. And in most cases, motivational rah-rah training doesn't get you there. It does help for a certain time period, but there's no way to monitor it. Why? Because it's still another training program. In a coaching program that helps you to observe and monitor your own emotional drives, you can imagine this. You've got a dashboard of goals which you intend to accomplish. Your coach actually audits these goals, works through these goals with you, and helps you to attain these results in a very systematic step-by-step basis, which probably wouldn't apply for somebody else. In which case, then the coach is given the professional duty or capability to be able to help you to move through these goals, right? Because now, as a coach, I can identify what issue you are going through, and therefore, as a result, be able to predict that if I tweak the plan in this particular way, you will become more motivated, you become more driven to actually move toward that goal, and therefore achieve a sense of satisfaction and happiness as a result of achieving this goal. The vision for CMC is a very idealistic one, I would say. In many cases, I find that I have a lot of clients who come to me because of very, very similar things. As a result of creating certified motivational coaches, I find that my burden is eased quite a fair bit. It enables me to have a virtual army of coaches to do good in the world. That's one of the key things that I want to bring to the world. It's a little bit idealistic. I want to have as many people seeded into the population as possible, so that when you have friends, you don't give them bad advice. When you have family members, you can nurture them even from birth, that they can have a fantastic sense of self-esteem. You know, when you see friends who are in difficulty, that you don't get stumped, that, oh dear, I know I can feel your pain, but I can't help you. I would like to be able to solve those problems by having more and more trained coaches out there who are going to help to change the world one person at a time. Well, the people who signed up for CMC come from a very wide range, but I can tell you those who have come in for professional reasons and those who come in for personal reasons. Professional reasons, human resource managers have come in. Why? I mean, it makes sense. If you want to coach people to achieve a higher level of performance in the workplace, you need a structure, you need a system to be able to guide you in the direction that you choose. Counselors, people who are trained in some form of psychotherapy, they know that they've only been dealing with childhood issues, painful issues, but they don't necessarily know how to chart the direction forward. So what they do is they balance out their capabilities by having a forward-looking agenda rather than just a backward-looking agenda. Teachers also come for this training program because they want to be able to deal with their students much, much better. Some entrepreneurs actually come in for the training program because, number one, they realize that they're very good technically in certain areas, but they never had the communication skills to deal with people around them. Some others also come for personal reasons. For example, they want to prepare for a second career because they know that with all the experience and expertise that they've got in the industry that they've been in, it actually helps them to become more valuable. Sort of like skills for hire, except that now I'm teaching you how to do it so that you can become more expert as well. I've also had parents who come in who want to coach their children. And I've also seen people who are just absolutely curious about coaching because it has received such a huge amount of press recently all across the world. because it's literally a multi-billion-dollar industry. So obviously, people who are curious want to come in and see, what is this coaching phenomenon all about? Once they realize it, they realize that there are multiple benefits in becoming a certified coach. I would like to say that in order for you to decide if you are suitable to become a coach, just ask yourself two questions. Number one, do I have to work frequently with people? And if you've got a passion for people, that definitely doubles your chances of being successful as a coach. Right? A lot of people have this misgiving that, I'm undergoing a lot of pain and pressure and problems myself. If I can't help myself, how do I help somebody else? But I just want to make a quick mention here. Almost all of the coaches whom I've trained before in my lifetime have had difficulties in their life before. And it is through coaching others that it becomes easier for them to relate to people with difficulties. The second one is if you've actually encountered difficulties in your life. You yourself are probably in the process of clearing out some difficulties right now. You may even find that you are not worthy of being a coach. Okay? The difficulty is not in the fact that you're going through these difficulties. The difficulty is in your belief system right now. And I've seen that people who actually come in for the Certified Motivational Coaching Program actually use the tools and capabilities to literally overcome their own shortcomings. The first thing that you need to do is to be able to come down and experience the demonstrations live, right in front of your eyes. So on the page that you're at, or if you happen to come across this on YouTube, for example, go to certifiedmotivationalcoach.com, fill in your name, email address, and select a time slot which is suitable for you before you actually come down. The reason why you have to come down is because the demonstrations in and of themselves are selected at random. I perform a coaching session in a very short span of time just to bring insight to everyone so that you realize that sometimes, even for things which appear to be very emotionally impactful to you, even though you're not in the demonstration seat. And I've had people who say, well, they get emotionally overpowered because they just don't know how to deal with it. You too are a prime candidate for the Certified Motivational Coaching Program, because that's where you begin the journey, the inward journey of understanding yourself, understanding your psychology, and then you can turn that around when you're working with other people. After all, that is where the experience comes from, when you know how to learn how to heal yourself in this particular environment. So healing and the planning forward are these two elements that propel you to becoming a fantastic coach. So once again, go to certifiedmotivationalcoach.com, or if you're already on this page, just leave your name, your email address, and your contact details, and choose the appropriate slot for yourself so that you'll be able to come and see me in action.